Hello, Manning Monarchs. My name is Trevor Ivy, and I am a proud educator in Sumter County in the great state of South Carolina, right down the road from you all in Manning. And I'm excited to be joining you on your virtual career day, and even more excited to have the opportunity to talk with you just for a few minutes about my job as an educator. In our short time together today, I hope to be able to share three things with you. I want to tell you why I became an educator. I want to also share with you what it takes to become an educator. And then last but not least, I want to be able to share with you some words of advice for those of you that are interested in becoming an educator. So, boys and girls, the first thing I want to talk with you about is why did I decide to become an educator? Well, like so many other educators, I love working with children. And so being around children and helping them to learn, to grow, and to be a better person is just the most rewarding thing about being an educator. And so that's why I decided to become an educator. The second thing that I want to share with you is what does it take to become an educator? Well, you first heard me talk using the word educator. An educator is a really broad term. So, broad meaning that it includes all sorts of different types of individuals that can be an educator, such as teachers, librarians, special ed teachers, speech therapists, and your teacher assistants, and the principal, the assistant principal, the superintendent. And every one of those careers can be all classified as someone who is an educator. So in order to become an educator, even if you want to become a principal, you have to first start by earning your teacher license. And this is what I have right here to share with you. State of South Carolina teacher license. And if you are interested in becoming a teacher, you have to go to school first. And so you will see on the wall behind me some of my degrees. But all educators have to start with a 4-year degree to earn their teacher license from me. I have a bachelor's degree, I have a master's degree, and I also have a doctorate degree. And that has allowed me to take on different roles in education. So I have been able to be a teacher, an assistant principal, a district office administrator, and right now I am helping to lead the work to start a new school here in Sumter. It's a public charter school. Last but not least, I want to give you some words of advice for those that are interested in becoming an educator. We use math, science, reading, writing, all of those great subjects in our everyday work as educators. Why? Because we are teaching those subjects. So, boys and girls, we have to know a little bit of everything, right, in order to be a very effective educator. And so that doesn't mean just becoming a specialist in one area. You have to know all of those subject areas. And so even if I didn't particularly like math, I have to be able to know enough about math in order to teach my children how to do math. And so that's important to know about an educator, is that you have to know a lot, and you most importantly have to know how to get that information across to children in a way that they're going to understand. And so a big role of an educator that we play is building good relationships with our students. Because, boys and girls, you know, I don't need to sit here and tell you that if your teacher doesn't care about you, then you probably are not going to be very excited and motivated to learn. Being an educator means that our job doesn't just stop when the bell rings and we go home. We have to get up early, we have to come to school early, we have to stay late to plan our lessons, and oftentimes we have to work on the weekends to do the extra work of being a teacher that leads us to be prepared to teach you, boys and girls, at the schoolhouse. That includes grading papers, writing lesson plans, getting our experiments ready in science, and all sorts of other things like communicating with your parent, taking additional classes and training to be better at what we do. That's really important if you're thinking about being an educator, because we're always constantly training. How much money can you earn? Boys and girls, if you're thinking about becoming an educator, you probably are not going to become very wealthy off of being an educator. So if you are interested in earning a lot of money, being an educator is probably not going to be the best career field for you. The starting salary for a teacher in South Carolina is about $35,000. But as you take more classes, as you earn more degrees, and as you teach longer, you will earn additional money. And so the range of your salary as a teacher can go all the way up to $80,000, $90,000. But there are other roles within the education system that you can take on that the salary may be different. What do I like most about my job is simply being around children and seeing their happy faces when they have learned something new and they are bold, courageous, and they've been inspired to do better, to be someone better in their life. That is the best thing about my job. And so, boys and girls, what I hope that you have learned in our short video today is just a little bit about the role as an educator, what it takes to become an educator, and some pieces of advice from one educator who's very passionate about the work that I do to those of you who might be considering becoming an educator. My name is Trevor Ivy, and again, I'm a proud educator right here in Sumter County, South Carolina. And thank you so much for considering the opportunity to learn more about becoming an educator.